Hey everybody, it's Kristen Calhoun. I'm going to introduce SketchUp today. It's a 3D modeling software. If you Google it, you will see there's the website, but if you go down to this option here, SketchUp Free, and click on it, it will give you options to sign in using your Google account. I'm already signed in, but you can do that easily when you click the sign in window. Just say sign in using Google because you already have one through our school. So you can just use your TOL account. So start modeling. There are things about it that can be extremely complicated, but it's also really fun just to make basic things with the tool. And it seems it's a little bit different than the Adobe software that you are probably used to using. So everything looks different on the screen, and it might just be a little bit of a learning curve at first. But once you get into it, it's really fun. So the first thing to do is just acquaint yourself with the way of moving around, and you're going to need to use keyboard shortcuts. I find this way faster than trying to find the tool that I need, especially when they're hidden like this. You can see there's things underneath. If you can get away with just using keyboard shortcuts, you should. So on our Google Classroom, there's a file that has the info with all the keyboard shortcuts. So the first thing we need to be able to do is just move. So if you click on O, or keyboard shortcut O, it's going to bring up these arrows, and then click and drag. That allows you to move around the model. This is the default screen that shows up with an axis, colored axis, and then this model. Zoom is Z, and you can click and drag to zoom in and out, or just if you have a roller mouse, you can use that too. These things work together really well. So I'm often switching between O and Z all the time to get the right angle to see anything. Okay, now you click spacebar, you can select something. So this guy, now unlike Adobe software, select does not allow you to drag. So select, and if you try to click and drag, it will just deselect it. It's very annoying. So click, and then click M for move, and now you can move him. So do that before you do anything else. Learn those tools, and don't build anything until you've done that. Moved him, moved around him. Come Z, gonna zoom out a little bit. O, rotate around. Zoom out some more. Okay, now I want to build just a simple rectangle. If I orbit around, this will probably help me. I like to see the axes really well. So clicking on R for rectangle, I can just click and drag. You can see the dimensions in the lower corner, and that's how you make things really, really precise. So click and drag. Now I have a rectangle. Later on, we'll work on measurements, but for now, there's your rectangle. To push or pull and create a three-dimensional object from a rectangle or an arc or any kind of circle, you just click P on your keyboard and pull up, and this is where the fun starts to happen. So if I want to make another rectangle, I click R again. I'm going to do it over here. Whatever the pencil rectangle tool is hovering over, it's going to discern that you are trying to build something out from it. So I was connected to this plane, so it's going to build on it, but then if I click push, now it's going to do that. Okay, now I have an interesting kind of conceptual looking building. I can orbit around, see the underside, click R, let's make a rectangle on the bottom part of this, okay, and then P for push pull. Make sure I hover over that, and I'm going to pull it down. I'm not sure where the bottom is, so I need to orbit and go up. Okay, looks like I got it on the ground. Now, if I wanted to offset something and connect the rectangle to another rectangle, I can go over to, well, this is rectangle tool. Let's see, offset. Oh, there it is. It's under push pull, offset. I click on the whatever the face is that I want. I can change that. Control Z, just that can undo anything. I'm going to say spacebar to select. Now, going back to offset, I'm going to click and drag, and it can do this. It will offset from the edge. Now I have a new rectangle that corresponds to the proportions of the outer one. I click P, and I can push in and out. So that's because I have the outer one selected. Now I can change that, and if I click, now I do this one, P, I click spacebar to select that. Now I move this one. Okay, so those are, I mean, right away you can see how you can instantly start making really interesting 3D architectural objects. But I don't want you to stop with that. Let's go to Z. No, let's just keep making things more interesting and complicated. Orbit, O, okay. You can see over here there's different arc tools. Maybe just try seeing what happens when you click and drag and then click again. And then L for line tool, I want to connect these, make it interesting shape. I can rotate that later, but if I want to push or pull it, oops, select it first. Now push, pull. Now I have something else. Okay. I'm just doing this a little bit haphazardly. I'm not thinking about the design, but it's showing you how the shapes can be made. And of course, you can make a hollow building by offsetting the sides of a box, or you can just create kind of like a dollhouse layout plan. If I zoom out and I go down here, oops, no, orbit for going down, looking down, zooming. Let's orbit around. I just want to get a different angle here. I can go over to line tool or click L for line and just start building shapes however I want. And they're going to be at right angles unless I mean, you can see it wants to click and it'll show you if you're going diagonally or not. So those aren't the same length. I'll just do that. Enter, start a new one. If I want to orbit around, it might make it easier to see what direction I'm doing everything. I'll click L again for line tool, clicking and dragging from the corner and going down. Better do Z to see what I'm, or do O to see how far I need to go down here. Orbit. Because it's kind of annoying when you start doing something and then you realize, oh, I can't see to the bottom of where I need to put that line. Okay, down. Oh, see, it gives me those dots to show I am at the bottom now. I can click. Okay, so now you can build a whole like house layout just from this. So you have all those things, and then to make it even more fun, there are these things over on the side here, components. So there's a 3D warehouse where it's kind of like open source stuff that people just put onto SketchUp. So if I go to, let's just see if we can find an animal of some sort. Zebra. Sure enough, I click on it and just click anywhere in here and it should place it. It did. Okay. What if I wanted a roller coaster? I really don't know what I'm going to find. Okay, there are definitely some options for roller coasters here. Wow, and some of them are really elaborate. People just, out of the goodness of their heart, they put things on here. Is that a roller coaster or? Whoa, okay. You can see a lot of things you can find, and then some of them are going to be difficult to alter because of the way they're grouped or made. Just keep moving that. Okay, could explore that later. Some of them will be easier. So you can play around with finding things after you have built just a basic structure that uses rectangles, rectangular shapes, some kind of curved shapes, and then also try doing some lines as well. This is just to get you familiar with how to use the program, and then we're going to do a much more technical little project that's going to solidify things in your memory and help you see just how powerful this tool is. So, see if I can find how to stop this. All right.